apologize if I make you repeat the questions. I can't hear anything.
Neither can we.
So this should be a lot of fun.
Start us off with a statement, and then we'll open the floor to questions.
So no, just like I was saying, goosebumps because I was just joking before you guys hit record. If I don't hear anything, I might make you repeat because that is the loudest game of the year. It gives you goosebumps because the energy. Shout out to marketing for having 6,000 kids here, right, which was larger than last year. And I can't wait for the game next year because from what I understand, we've never done this before I got here. So I think this is a great game for the state because, again, as the state school, what are we about? It's got to be more than just basketball. And so for us to team up with Education Day, and again, I say this all the time, imagine a young girl or boy who's never been able to come to a game because they have two hardworking parents, because this is what this town and this state's all about, blue-collar, hardworking people, or couldn't afford to take them. And today they were able to get on a bus with their classmates and come to a game for the first time and never maybe played and be inspired. And then now we're talking about possibly a future Bulldog or an Olympian or somebody who plays in the WNBA. That's what this game's about. And then also how cool, all right, I've learned in the dictionary. Sam, you might have to tell me the word 67. Are you aware of this? Rob, yeah, you're aware it's now an officially word. So for us to miss a layup, get a rebound, throw it out, to make 67 just made it for a really cool day, and especially to see those kids go so crazy when that number came on the board. That's what life's about.
All right, I'll start with Robbie.
Speaking of the three-pointers, y'all were 1 for 5 in the first quarter, a little rusty, and then finished 9 of 15, I think. Just got hot. Iowa came in and provided some really good shots for you, Destiny too.
Yeah.
Was it just a little bit of rush, you feel like, in that first quarter? What did you see in the second that you take the game over there?
Can't make it unless you shoot it. Just keep shooting it, right? I think there's different ways of coaching. I think we need these games. We need to play the young ladies that put in the work. I want to shout out Iowa, young lady who only played 2 minutes the last game. And Jimmy went up to the office late at night. I'll never forget. He texted me and called me. He's like, "You ain't gonna believe this." I said, "What? I got to get back to the office?" He goes, "No, I was in the gym on the gun shooting right now." She didn't go home. She worked. All right, what a great story. Because in today's time, you know what most kids do? They jump in the portal when things don't go their way. They start complaining. That kid said, "No, I'm going to roll up my sleeves." And so for her to own her moment and come out and shoot the ball, I told my team at halftime, "Oh, well, that's big time. That's character, and that's going to give me a lot of great hope for you moving down the line." And then to your question, Robbie, last game, Davidson was pressing man-to-man, switching everything, so the shot wasn't able to be shot because they were going to make us make tough twos. And then obviously this game, they played a lot of zone, which provided those opportunities for outside shots.
We'll go Sam, then Jacob.
Favor got a double-double today. What did you just think of her game?
I love it. First of all, how about that smile when she made the and one screaming? And then Coach Howard just told me she's in tears, guys. Again, I tell you, this is a young lady, and tears are good today because, remember, she's from Africa, goes to Japan, and the kids after the game are tackling her. They want her autograph. Coach Howard told me one of them actually threw their shoe off and wanted them to sign their shoe. And for Favor to see this, all right, that's why she comes for these moments here in America. She was just tears of joy. So for her to have a double-double on kids' game, but most importantly, like I always say, that beautiful smile to come out tonight, that was a lot of fun to watch.
Chandler does a little bit of everything for you today. What did you think of her performance, and how do you think she is adjusting to kind of a different role this year?
Yeah, I thought she was great in the second half for poise. I challenged her again. We got to get her turnovers down. I told her sometimes, you know, you play so hard, but you got to play smart. You got to play under control. And she knows that. She handled it well in the second half. I thought there was a maturity about her where she didn't pout and that she fought and that she knows that she needs to do better. Right, as much as she wants it, she's got to play within the system, and I'm excited to see that here come Sunday.
Go to Colin and then to Robbie.
You mentioned preseason. You were really excited about the athleticism and the speed of this team, and it seemed like you mentioned the zone and being able to create space out on the rim, but you also created a lot of space inside with the ball movement, down the court quickly. I guess, what have you kind of seen in the first couple of games of trying to implement more of that?
Yeah, well, today was hard because – you know, I'm going to keep it real, Coach. We didn't press because Georgia State's really athletic. So to your point question, we really couldn't get after it. I used all my timeouts this game because I told them if I'm not pressing and I'm forming a wall, they can't score on the first or second pass. And today they did. And that's unacceptable for team defense because when we play South Carolina, we play LSU, and we play Texas, they can get to the rim as good as anybody in the country. So I'm hoping we can learn that lesson, to your point, and use our speed to form hard walls, to form multiple efforts where you're making teams go 3, 4, 5 passes to score on you. And tonight I couldn't be more happy of the game, but upset with our defense. Second half's unacceptable for us, and I told them there's a standard. I knew we were going to win the game, but what do we? As I build this team with 10 new players, we got to play to a certain level, a dog mentality. And we gave up 21 in the third, and then they outscored us in the fourth. We're going to have a nice little come to Jesus talk here tomorrow at practice.
It's not always pretty with the freshmen, but you can see just how aggressive they are, and they're not scared. Madison, 10.7 rebounds. Lampley, 12.7 rebounds. It just seems like they're always around the ball. What are you seeing from those two, especially and Tally came in and gave you some good minutes too from your freshmen so far?
Yeah, like you said, and I think I listened to the press conference here by favor, they don't play like freshmen. They're just relentless, absolute beasts that have played the highest level, and they want to come in and help this program win, and that's what you're watching. The ultimate team players. Again, I want to give a big shout-out to Jayla Lampley. This is back-to-back games that she's performed in. A lot of times you got to see if the lights come on, if they can shine, and it's shining right now for her, but she's playing within the system. Madison Francis, unfortunately, got foul trouble, and we'll watch that film. Also, they blitzed her a lot, where we'll talk about that too. She's too good to have 1 assist and 5 turnovers. So there's no doubt in my mind she'll learn from that. And then for Gray to get in and give those minutes she did in the first half, I thought was tremendous. Some of her minutes got altered in the second half just because All was playing so good. But to your point, I'm really excited where they're at, and I don't want them to be satisfied. And most importantly, I want them to continue to stay hungry.
You mentioned Iowa, and she kind of gets forgotten by some of us whenever we're talking about the freshmen, but she comes in highly touted JUCO player and did some good things. What can she provide for this team beyond just 3-point shooting, and what do you kind of foresee for her?
Yeah, biggest thing's poise, right? You talk to Iowa, you watch her, she never gets too high, she never gets too low. And so with a team that's got so many dogs and emotional kids who play with their sleeves, sometimes you just need a steady Eddie. And I think her and Chris provide that for this team as we're molding behaviors, along with Jayla, that, you know what, I'll never get too high, never too low. And if she can keep that energy but talk to her teammates to calm us down in certain moments, it's going to be huge for us this year.
I know you're also adjusting to several new faces. You have a third game of the week on Sunday. What do you hope to kind of see from your team on that day?
That we have a dog mentality to go 3-0, right? So shout out to, like I said, what a week for the Bulldogs. Started with football, then we opened up. Men's basketball had a heck of a game. This baseball outing tonight should be electric. I'm going to be a fan outside of an employee to attend that tonight. Football, let's go, baby. Bring on the dogs from Georgia. And then, we got a responsibility on Sunday to cap off a great week, and that's what I'm going to tell my young women. You've got fans from all over the state that have spent a lot of hard-earned money and a lot of time to be entertained, and that's what this business is at the end of the day. It's an entertainment business. So I don't care who you play. Put on that jersey with pride, and let's come out and dance.
Treyana struggled a little bit in her first game, and I think it was the foul trouble that maybe was a big factor in that. But how do you just think she responded today and after that?
Awesome. Because, again, shout out to Georgia State. That's a team that there was no plays to run. They just scrambled, double, random. There's no flow. It's about just getting in the middle, finding the right people, and taking a good shot. And I thought for her to have 6 assists and 0 turnovers. And again, this is a scoring guard who's just taking on responsibility as a point guard was huge. I know I probably speak for her. She's excited for Sanaa Akeem to come back and take on some of that load so she can get some more shots in a rhythm like Dez is right now. But what I love about that kid is she's willing to take on any role. And for our program to get off to a 2-0 start this year is a big shout out to her for taking on a new role, but handling it with poise and confidence after, like you said, on an opening night where she got in foul trouble. I thought she was really good tonight.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day, people. Good seeing everybody.